Yeah, cool.
And we're good.
What's up, guys, and welcome to the DC versus Marvel podcast, where we talk about the latest DC and Marvel movie news. My name is Uz, aka Uziman, and I represent the stars. I don't know why Eddz has got the stars on. I represent the stars of DC, and in the red corner once again,
I'm celebrating the amazing political debate of the other night, which is just like,
oh my goodness me. Oh, guys, do you know what? It's we're not American, right? But it's just like, it's so amazing that this is actually happening in your country, and we're just observing it, just seeing like how ridiculous the situation is, man.
Better than any political comedy that could ever exist.
Yeah, I mean, if aliens came now, they'd just watch a few things and be like, nah, forget it. There's no intelligent life on here. Let's just leave. You know what I mean? That's why, all these things people say why aliens haven't visited us. Well, it's kind of obvious. We're not intelligent enough.
Exactly. The way we look at ants, that's basically what we are right now. Just idiotic ants, just killing each other.
Well, ants are probably more clever than us, man. They're actually
they know their role, they stick to it, do what they're told.
Yeah, exactly, man. And yeah, unfortunately we don't. So that's the problem, guys. This is why we don't have like shows and and films and stuff to comic book stuff to review every single week. We should be literally doing and reviewing show after show after film, but no. Instead these things are
it's so crazy to think what we could have been watching by now. We would have watched Wonder Woman, would have watched Black Widow. At least one or two of the Marvel shows would have been up as well. It's like, it's the stuff that's just disappeared now that we just can't see.
And you're forgetting the number one film that we didn't see, Dr. Michael Morbius.
Oh, I keep forgetting that even exists. Wow.
Yeah. Dr. Michael Morbius had his trailer, and it's like, after that, forget this film ever exists.
When was Venom supposed to come out?
Venom was also meant to come out at the end of this year, but they were just like, we're not going to show you nothing, no trailers, no whatever. Sod it, is done for next year, man. I mean, the thing is, it makes me laugh because people think magically next year, suddenly this coronavirus is going to be like, see you later, guys. I'm done, yeah? And you can go and watch whatever you want, do what you want, whatever. It's to me, it's madness, right?
They're betting on the vaccine suddenly appearing. Just magically just appearing. And even if it does, the amount of people that are saying they're not going to take it, as far as I say, fuck them. Like, if they don't want to take it, don't let them take it. Let them get sick and done.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. What they should do is they should say, look, this vaccine is free to everybody, right? Obviously, test it, make sure it's safe, all that kind of stuff. This vaccine is free to everybody, and then everybody can queue up and get it, right? And then just reopen everything, because at that point, if somebody goes and they haven't had it and they get sick, well, mate, you had the flipping opportunity, to get it, right?
Remember
and it's
polio? Remember polio? They had the vaccine for that. And who gets polio now? But if that happened now, no one would be getting it, and then everyone would be like,
Well, this is the thing. Most of our listeners are too young for this kind of stuff. But when I was a kid, right, I was 8 years old. I used to have a teacher called Mr. Titchener. I still remember him now. This dude, right, he used to wear a glove on his left hand, and his left hand was like, his whole arm was like completely like atrophied. Like, it was like, he used to hold it like this. I remember he used to put it up like this, right? We used to ask him, what happened to you? And he's like, I had polio when I was a kid, right? And we're like, Ross, this is what happened. So his whole arm was just like, and I don't know what his hand was like under the glove, because he never took his glove off.
Yeah, I didn't actually know that happened. I just thought it just looked little kids in wheelchairs. That was all like the Victorian dramas I used to see.
Yeah, so this guy, I don't know, I don't know what happened to this dude. I mean, to this day, I still don't know. But I still remember Mr. Titchener, man, he used to teach us English, and he used to come every day like this, put his arm up like that. And it was like a dead arm, right? This arm was like, literally just like, couldn't do nothing. It was just like there. And anybody is like, I don't want the polio, I don't want the polio vaccine, nothing. It's like, we don't see people like Titchener anymore because we got that stuff. You know what I mean?
Dude,
But
if you got
if
a
you want
dead
to go
arm,
back to
wouldn't it
that,
be better just to cut it off, or at least to the elbow, and just get a prosthetic that can actually do something?
Oh, bruv. Do you know this is the thing? Like, I know this is like a weird and probably quite sickening thought, right? But I've kind of thought to myself, if I ever like had a situation where like I had to have like my leg amputated or something like that, I would get like a 3D printed crazy ass framework, right? I don't know whether you ever seen on the internet, you get these guys who have got these like crazy like frameworks and then like LEDs running through it and shit, so it looks like an android, and it's like, that's what I'd get. I would get some it would literally be hollow with like little things going through it and stuff. People be like, what is that mad shit,
like
man?
Moving parts. It'd just be like Tron at night time when you're walking in the street, it's glowing like.
That's what I would do. I would literally I'd have trousers, but I'd have one that is like a short, basically, so that just that one leg that's exactly what I'd do. So that is the sickening thought of the day. I'm not making light of amputees, man. I'm just saying.
Many a day have I thought of that. I'm not even kidding. Many a day.
Exactly.
Have like a little compartment like Robocop did, but have like like chocolate bars or something you can just pull out. Like,
Oh, that would be mad. That would be. I wouldn't even mind having that thing like 7 of 9 flipping thing just on my face like this, like, just that gives you some information going to your to your brain and shit, man.
You've seen Google Tesla's little brain chip thing he's got.
Yeah. Google on tap. The only problem with that is they're going to send you ads, man. I guarantee you they're going to send you ads to your brain. I have enough of ads as it is, you know what I mean? So,
and it's supposed to replace a part of your skull. And the first thing I thought of when they said that, what if you bang your head on the cabinet? It's going to knock it right into your brain. What the
Exactly. Oh, it's just I don't know, man. They must have a thing that you can wear it outside. It's just got I don't know why it has to go inside like that, but yeah. I don't know. Eddz is up to be one of the first test subjects. If Tesla is listening, then he's more than happy for that, man. We're actually potentially in our lifetimes going to get a real life cyborg. How mental is that? Like literally like a actual cyborg, and maybe then Ray Fisher will get an acting job after that, from playing that role. So anyway, guys, let's get into the DC and Marvel stuff, man. And let's start with some Marvel announcements, man, because there has not been any Marvel announcements for a while. We've kind of been skirting around and stuff like that. Before we do that, we usually leave messages for the end. We had a message from a guy called Simi. I think it's a guy, but called Simi, who said, guys, can you give us a little rundown of the topics that you're going to cover in the show kind of at the start? So I'm going to do it in this one and then see. So guys, today we're going to be covering Nick Fury. We're going to be covering Ms. Marvel. We're going to be covering the Snyder Cut stuff. We're going to be covering Sandman. We're going to be looking at The Boys, of course, episode 5. And we're going to be covering some Mandalorian stuff because we've been told that we said that we're going to cover Star Wars and we're not anymore. And also the other thing as well is how to what level do we get to when we're covering comic book stuff, right? So for example, Transformers trailer for the second season has come out. You guys have to. Yeah, I saw it on the YouTube highlights yesterday. The trailer, and there's Autobots, Decepticons, and there's a third faction now, but I haven't seen the trailer yet. So if you guys want us to cover every single comic book thing, we can do that. It's perfectly fine. Just let us know. So dude, let's get into the Nick Fury stuff, man. So Nick Fury series, being coming out it's going to be on Disney Plus, obviously. What's your thoughts on the Nick Fury series, and do you reckon that means the death of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? Because everybody's going to want to see.
It's already dead. It's finished. It's like, it's ended now as a show. It's finished.
Yeah,
but it's a bummer because this is what Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. should have been. It should have been Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. headed by Nick Fury, and
Yeah.
completely connected to the MCU, but because of their little rivalry with Pearl Mud and all that crap, we got what we got, which was occasionally really good, but So what's it going to be? Because with it being the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show, it would have worked better because he ain't a young man. So basically, all he would have had to do is come on screen, say a few lines. Basically, like what was that show with Texas Ranger? What's his face? Chuck Norris.
Oh, Chuck Norris. Yeah.
That Texas Ranger thing.
Texas Ranger.
Would come in, say a few lines. And then his little partners, his young guys, would go off and actually do the acting and do the action.
Yeah. And,
and
in maybe one scene in an entire season, he might do a roundhouse.
Yeah,
that would literally be it in the whole thing.
Exactly.
Yeah. S.H.I.E.L.D.
That's what the Agent show should have been. Jackson's just saying what plan needs to get executed, and then his team going out and doing it. So what's it going to be now?
I don't know, man, but I like the Nick Fury input stuff into the Spider-Man universe, right? Because to me, I like stuff that ties in a lot. So when you've got the cartoon shows, my kids watch the cartoon Spider-Man shows a lot and the cartoon Avengers shows a lot. And in the cartoon Spider-Man shows, Nick Fury's in it like all the time, and he's always getting vexed at Peter Parker because he's just like he sends him on these missions with his mates, Power Man and what's her name? White Tiger, I think her name is. And I was going to say Blue Beetle. It's Nova, the Nova guy. But yeah, they keep sending her on these missions, and they keep like doing stupid stuff. And then Nick Fury's always around there. So I kind of like those kind of tie-ins. And I'm already getting stuff whirring in my head of like where that can go. Like exploring multiverses with him investigating certain things.
This is the thing, like, where is it going to be set? Because if it's set now, as the MCU is continuing, the last time we saw Nick Fury, he was off into space with a bunch of with scrolls. So is it gonna be a sci-fi space show like Star Trek with Fury as the captain, with a bunch of scrolls? Then it could be. I have no idea what it could be. But it could be interesting.
That would be ridiculous.
I know, but it's
I would piss myself if it was a Star Trek show with Nick Fury as the captain. Oh my god!
Scrolls. That would be crazy. Just going to different planets and doing shit.
That would be the funniest shit ever, man. That would actually be absolutely hilarious, guys. If you have not got that already, Eddz is like copyrighting that pitch, man, because that would be amazing. I don't really watch many of these like Marvel shows, but to be honest, I would actually watch that because that would be right up my street, man. Especially these.
I was gonna say, do you ever watch I've forgotten the show, the Seth MacFarlane Star Trek ripoff?
Orville.
That was it. You ever watch it?
Yeah.
If it had that sort of sensibility to it. Yeah, if it had that sensibility of like the slight, serious but slight bit of comedy in there as well.
Oh my god, it would just. Do you know what it? Yeah, basically, like it would kind of be Nick Fury just saying that everybody else is incompetent continuously,
just taking a piss out of Star Trek.
You guys. Yeah, everybody's incompetent. Everybody's doing things wrongly. And he's and he'd have to go on some kind of quest of like, I need to find something to stop these kind of things happening there again. He could interact with so many different screwed up beings. It would just be hilarious, man. But yeah, I just think about that.
I didn't care about this before. Now I'm into it. If it goes that way, I'm into it.
It goes that way. Yeah, he goes on a planet where there's another. He finds another ship that looks exactly like his but slightly different colors, and he's like, what the hell? This is like bizarre, basically, because he's thinking, okay, there's a multiverse, there's another Nick Fury there. He goes on that ship, meets the guy who they're like, oh, we're going to introduce you to our captain, Nick Fury, and flipping Hasselhoff walks out, and then they're like,
yes, please, universe, please give it to us. That'd be great.
It would be hilarious, man. It'd be the funniest. Oh my god, that a space drama with Nick Fury. Holy shit, that would be funny as hell, man.
Be a dramedy.
It'll be brilliant.
His snarky remarks, man, especially with the scrolls there. It'd be Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Because do you know what they've turned? They've turned the Skrulls into like just the most, basically a bunch of losers, pretty much, right?
And that did annoy me.
He is gonna be like, these guys just a total waste of space, and he's gonna have to keep doing stuff himself. You know what I mean? So yeah, that'll be interesting, man. I think that'll be a good way of a good way they can do things. So going from a completely kind of a mad out space kind of thing, going to a really super kind of down to earth with the Miss Marvel stuff. So obviously they've cast like an unknown actress as Miss Marvel. And I don't know what her origin is, and I think they've probably done that on purpose so people can't go, because the first thing that would have happened.
Vellani. I think this is pretty much she didn't have an IMDb before this. She has now, which only has Miss Marvel as its credit. So she's pretty much done nothing except maybe like a little indie film or something. How does that happen? How do you go at 18 to just being in a Marvel, having your own Marvel TV show?
The thing is, so I'll tell you this, right? I'll tell you, do you know what? Sometimes I look at these things and I think people take a lot of opportunities for stuff, right? So like back in the day, I used to go and do this thing for this company called Universal Extras, right? And basically what they do is they pay you to like go on set. And most of the time it would be like, okay, we're looking for a Middle Eastern type person with a beard or something, or we're looking for like, a person of a certain height and stuff like that. Most of the time, all you'd be doing is literally standing there in like a crowd or something, or just like walking past people. Most of the time, it would be in a crappy, like a British kind of gangster film, or like some stock footage that they're doing for something, right? But I reckon if you do that shit enough, one day you might look at something and be like, oh shit, I'm on the Batman set, or I'm on, like, so certain things where they're just asking for somebody who looks a certain way.
I have limited, very, very limited acting experience. Just for buddies. I did like short films with friends like 10, 15 years ago. One of the little short films I did, a woman who played my mother, just found out she's been cast in, Haunting in Hill House.
Yeah, the sequel, the Bly something.
She's in it.
Okay.
And not as an extra. She has a poster.
Oh, wow.
As one of the characters. I'm like, that's my TV mum. How the hell? Like, it can happen.
It's persistence, man. It's persistence as well. Like literally, like when you look at certain things and you think, okay, like Chadwick Boseman, obviously he's very talented and stuff, but he kind of hit the big time when he's in his late 30s, early 40s. Then it's like, damn, even like Mahershala Ali, who's like, nearly 50, and he's like, he's doing it now. It's like, there's always that kind of thing, and you just have to have, I think you just keep turning up, keep turning up.
Keep doing it.
I think with her, there was a very specific reason why they did it that way, and the reason is that, what the internet's like, what Twitter's like. Basically, within seconds of her being announced, if it was, say, an Arab actor or white or black or whatever, or Chinese, within seconds we'd be like, oh no, it's meant to be a Pakistani American girl. It's meant to be. So within seconds, people will start moaning about it. Nobody even knows who this girl's background is. Now, Iman is a Pakistani name, but her surname is definitely not. So, it's kind of like she might be mixed race or whatever. But to be honest, I mean, I know a lot of people in the, in like the, Pakistani community and stuff. And I don't know many who would be like going to their daughter, you know what, go and do some acting and like, their 17, 18-year-old daughters, and go and do stuff like that. So I don't know what it's like in America, but obviously it's something that she's kind of got into, but they've really kind of gone all into this stuff. So it's like, it's interesting because, people coming out of nowhere. It's like the two dudes who directed the Bad Boys films with some like Pakistani like directors who come out of bloody nowhere, and now obviously they're doing this.
Yeah, exactly. And when I saw like some behind the scenes documentary of Bad Boys, I saw these two, and they were just goofy idiots. I'm like, who are these guys? again, I thought to myself, how did they suddenly land this? Because they had nothing. And they carried themselves like idiots, but they did good. People liked the film for the most part.
Yeah.
And that's it. Foot in the door.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing, right? I think it's mainly if you know a production company as well, right?
Yeah.
Did I ever tell you the shitty Kill Hasselhoff story?
I think you mentioned it.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
so my sister used to be an accountant for Image Nation, which is, you know what I mean, right? So and the thing is, this dude he used to keep coming in pitching his film to that production company, right? About, an assassin trying to come and kill him and stuff. And the main guy there was like, oh yeah, let's just make it because it's going to cost next to nothing. We've got Hasselhoff in it, blah blah. That was their kind of plan, right? And I kind of think, okay, if you're somebody who's like friends with these production companies, and nowadays they have stuff like, like Image Nation, like Alibaba Pictures, stuff like that. If you kind of know these people, you're much more likely to be in there when you're when it comes to these directing things. Because they've also got the writer. Apparently the writer is she writes a lot of she's a writes fiction, not, I don't know whether it is fiction or not, but kind of like about honor killings and stuff like that. That's what our research was. So she's got no real experience in writing, something lighthearted and whatever. So I don't know where they kind of go for a deep kind of thing or what.
I guess they needed someone who understood the particular complexities of the Muslim Asian family, to be able to show that, because that's a big part of Ms. Marvel. I think it's kind of what works with what makes Spider-Man so popular is what also makes her popular, is that it's down to earth family life, and then you have the sort of superhero stuff on the outside. Yeah,
and that's the thing, is like, they're ramping up obviously a lot of these shows there now, and they're pretty much trying to get every single demographic, right? So you're basically, what they're looking at is those
Latin Americans. I've seen nothing for Latin Americans, and I don't get it because they're like the second biggest population over there.
Even when you look at DC, right? Well, so DC announced a Blue Beetle movie years ago, years ago, right? And it was like, okay, you put Jamie Reyes in it, that's it, it's done, mate. It's done, right? And it's like, what the hell happened to that? Like, disappeared off the face of the bloody earth. The film that Steven Spielberg was gonna make, about the flying aces and in DC and stuff. And with what's his name, Saeed Tagouri, I think his name is, the guy who was the Arab guy in the original Wonder Woman. He's part of this like Flying Aces group, and they were going to do that. Blackbirds, they're called, and that just disappeared by the wayside and stuff like that. And it's weird because in America, like, they have this thing about soccer, and like in we call it by the proper name, football, but basically, like, soccer, they have they have loads and loads of like Latin American fans of this sport, and they go and watch it like religiously, like go to the stadiums and stuff like that. So there's no real reason for them to say, oh yeah, they're not going to spend money on this and I'm going to spend money on that. They bloody will, if there's something that interests them in the in the cinema. So it is weird that they are kind of not covering that demographic. So yeah, I don't know. I think maybe they're just trying to put The Rock in as many things as possible and just say he's like this weird generic, kind of like I don't know what he is, kind of thing, and just appealing to every single kind of demographic kind of thing.
Doesn't always work though, because Baywatch weren't that great, Skyscraper didn't do that great, Rampage didn't do that great. He ain't that great.
Yeah, I mean, I sad to admit, I actually watched Rampage a few days ago and actually thought it was okay.
Really?
Not like, I didn't think it was great, but I thought it was. I didn't think it was horrendously bad. Let's just say that.
Don't worry, guys. We'll be back.
I will be back. Yeah, sorry. I just somebody just sent me a message. I accidentally pressed on it. So you know, if you guys will know, if you're married or whatever, you don't answer your wife like, you know, within minutes. You get like, that's the thing. Like, oh god, I was watching this documentary last night on Netflix about some dude who just went mental and like killed his wife or something. It's called American Murder or something like that. It's trending on Netflix. It's like the #1 in the UK program at the moment.
Shows you people want ideas.
So, and I was watching it and I was like, oh my god, basically like I'm gonna get evils for the rest of the day. Yeah, and I thought that's the thing. I mean, maybe I should have watched that, but yeah. But anyway, guys, where were we? Yeah, Rampage. It was okay. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Let's just say that, because I thought it was going to be absolutely horrific. But the same as in absolutely every single thing, it's like The Rock plays exactly the same thing. He's the least convincing. What did he call himself? Something zoobiologist or something like that I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah,
right. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, mate. You know, and he's also a Marine who then decided to go retrain himself to become this. I don't know. Yeah. So yeah, definitely. You know, looking forward to those kind of things, and that's weird because I don't look forward to any of the Marvel shows.
Why?
Unlike you guys.
Your life would be so much better, Mo. I mean, your life would be so much better. You'd be such a happier person. Just let.
Oh man, I have no vested interest in watching any of the Marvel stuff. It's just like I kind of look at it and think, okay, you know, this is a character that I may kind of like, or maybe not. I don't know. I mean, I'm just, you know, I just hope, you know, that obviously when they are doing like some of these, you know, I'm going to be waiting for the DC stuff. Basically, that's all there is to it. And I might use the Marvel stuff as filler in the meantime. You know.
Yeah, do you do that? They creep in. They just get under your skin slowly.
It's like yeah, exactly, guys. You heard those brain worms, right? You know, there's people in Houston or something. They can't drink the water because there's like this brain amoeba in there that eats your brain. That's basically what watching these Marvel shows is like. It seeps in there, and it'll eat it away until it's like a zombie watching every.
It nourishes you. It takes away the part of you that's sad and just replaces it with just happy, the base level of happy all the time.
It's like Invasion of the Body Snatchers, right? So it's like you know, everybody on the face of it is like, oh, they're all right and happy and blah blah blah, but actually they've been taken over by this kind of creature inside.
If they don't know, what's the problem?
What's the problem? That is one hell of a take. I'll say that. I'll say that, man. So let's get into one of the shows that we've all been watching, and you know, big comic book property. The Boys. So The Boys episode 5. I know probably by the time this is coming out, the episode 6 would have been out. So we'll review that there next time. Episode 5. What are your thoughts on episode 5, man?
Remind me again, what happened this episode? It's been a freaking few days. This is the reveal. We got the
Nazis,
Stormfront, which we knew, but yeah, I did like the way they did it. Like it, and just showing her, not even just being on the outside, on the fringes Nazi, like she was in it from the beginning, right, literally in the seeds of it. Yeah,
she was. And okay, so we kind of talked about this last week, and I was like, I'm pretty sure this is the route that they're going to go down. Obviously, this is the route that they did go, which I kind of thought, I don't know, man. I would have liked it if it was like, you know, she revealed like she was like, you know, 400 years old or something, right? And was like, because the thing was, right, you know, there was all this talk before that like, okay, Stormfront was female, right? And we had this conversation there before, and it was like, no, she's playing a transsexual something or whatever. Can you remember that conversation?
Yeah.
Right. And that was the thing. No, actually she's playing. So in this, she's clearly female because, you know, from that kind of time. But then that to me would have been interesting if she was there from like like the start of the US or whatever, basically like 400 years ago as part of the founding fathers or something, and just was there to just try and
like part of like
F
the
up the place.
original Freemasons and all of that. Just in the
Yeah,
system, like that sort of degree.
yeah, just like in
Hellfire
there
Club and
as
all of
like
that.
yeah, just like in there had some kind of and then basically they were trying to like create this kind of serum kind of thing to try and create more like her. So she was like the mother of all of these things, right? And then basically eventually then they end up trying to stabilize this thing and stuff like that.
It was called the Old Guard, and it wasn't very good.
Maybe my subconscious brain is trying to think, okay, maybe they could have changed that into something a little bit better. But yeah, I don't know. So the other thing is that I messed up on the I can't remember what the actor's name is, but the guy who's playing Lamplighter, I thought was actually playing the other character who was meant to be like Captain America, but actually no, he is Lamplighter basically.
Nice, Jason Ackles. He's not season 2 or season 3, innit? He pops up. The guy from Supernatural.
Yeah. So this guy is obviously is Lamplighter, and we know that he kind of killed Mallory's grandkids, right?
Yeah.
But and this idiot gives the dumbest kind of thing that he says to like Frenchie to make him feel guilty, like, oh yeah, I was gonna burn them, but why didn't you stop me? And it's like, mate, what's the matter with you? You're the one who bloody did it, and it's like you're putting on Frenchie to have stopped you. You know what I mean? It's like bloody ridiculous, man. The whole oh god, Lamplighter is such a shitty character, man. It's just like he was like, wasn't he he was Iceman, right? He was Iceman in so it's like the opposite now. He's like the Human Torch kind of thing.
I was getting confused because he's got a twin brother who's also an actor. So you never when you see his face, you're not really sure which one. Yeah, there's a twin.
No.
You're not really sure which one it is, but yeah, he's the one that played Iceman.
He is the Iceman one. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I mean that's the thing, man, because he was, there were a few reveals in this, in this kind of thing, and obviously the most, the one, the boys always has one moment, whereas everybody's like, what the hell, man? And obviously this one was Love Sausage, reveal, when they went to the thing, man, and it's like love Sausage. So
was that his name? Love Sausage.
His name's Love Sausage, yeah. So he's because they go party. So Love Sausage in the comic books there as well, and they basically go and visit him like later on, because they're trying to find out what Billy's plan is basically, and Love Sausage kind of tells them and stuff like that. But in this, it was like, Mother's Milk was walking past and he sees the sign, it says Love Sausage on it. He's like, what the hell? And then then obviously it proves why he's called Love Sausage. But imagine all the powers you could get from Compound V, and that's
what you got.
That's a shitty power that he had,
man.
That
is what you got.
So poor guy, man. Poor guy. So
what was that? Was that character the one that actually escaped at the end, or the woman with the shaved head that was just like a Terminator?
Yeah. That I can't remember. I honestly do not think that character was in the books.
What is she? Where is she going? What is she going to end up doing in the show? Because it's got to lead to something.
Yeah, Homelander's gonna fuck her up, man.
What's the point of showing her escaping if she's just going to get fucked up like that?
No. She's going to go on a basically, Homelander is going to be, that's going to be his kind of, we know he's a piece of shit, but basically that is going to be his redemption in the public eye, that he's going to stop this, messed up soup, and it's gonna be glorious, man, that battle, because Homelander is gonna F that lot up, man. The other thing was the reveal about the plane. So they revealed about the plane, right, and what happened on the plane, and her saying, what's it called, Queen Maeve saying that they're going
good advert for GoPros. survived plane
For
crashes.
GoPros. Yeah, exactly. That guy, it was like, oh yeah, but it just about survived and stuff like that. The thing is, they didn't take the SD card out. They plugged the whole GoPro
Yo,
into
dumb.
into the
So dumb.
into the phone, right? And then it's like, oh yeah, what's on, and it's perfect quality. It's like no damage, no nothing. So absolutely amazing. But yeah, that obviously it's been revealed now what a piece of crap Homelander is. We obviously already knew he was a piece of crap, but now apparently Queen Maeve is gonna expose him or whatever.
But
Man.
it's a
So,
dumb plan. She said I was going to show it to him and make him leave us alone. Like, that is not going to end well. You have to go straight to the media. Don't go to him.
Yeah, 100%. Why not just show it to the media or go to, I don't know, online. Online is like the easiest. But what was that? Oh God, this is gonna do my head in now. There was some shitty film back in the day, right? And basically, there was, oh God, I don't know if you remember, there was a guy who used to be in all these films like American Pie kind of films, like Road Trip and stuff, and he looked really geeky. The
Stifler. The
white
guy
guy.
plays Stifler all the time.
No, it's if you saw him, you'd know, but he wasn't like one of the main actors, but he had this really weird kind of face, right? And he was a really skinny, tall white guy, right?
The redhead
one. I can't remember. No, he's not red. He's not redhead. He's kind of like got dark hair. I'm gonna find a picture and I'm gonna send you so you know exactly what it is. And there was this thing, right, where basically they, there was some kind of conspiracy going on or whatever. And in the end, this dude releases the entire conspiracy, on the internet or whatever. So it's the early days of the internet. And he's just like, release it on there. That is going to do my head in now for the rest of the day until I figure out what the hell that film was and what that guy's bloody name was. But yeah, that would have been the best way to solve it. But now, what do you reckon? Do you reckon that Homelander is gonna accept this Nazi mission, or what do you think he's gonna do?
Well, I feel he already thinks he's superior to everybody, so this isn't a leap for him to, because he's got a purpose now. He's on the top of a pedestal, so I don't see why he wouldn't. He's not a good person, so I can't see him rebelling against it. But then again, Stormfront has to die somehow. I don't think she's going to be in this show for the long haul.
But isn't his thing like that he just wants everybody to love him and say he's the greatest, like, all the time? Like, he's like a little boy, basically. He wants to be told, you're the best, you're the best, you're the best. That's why he had that mummy issues with that, Elizabeth Shue character.
But
because
it's like, this political, but ain't that kind of like a Trump thing? He wants everyone to love him, so he doesn't want to alienate anyone.
Yeah, because the whole thing that he's been doing throughout everything is basically like, he wants everybody to, when he went on the stage and all that kind of stuff, and he was thinking, what he'd do to people and stuff like that. I'm going to turn this on, see if this makes any difference. When he was, when he was on stage stuff, and he imagined like killing all those people and stuff. The whole thing was about, him just wanting everybody to say how great he was and how amazing. And when they don't, he's like, I'm going to annihilate bloody everybody. You know what I mean? The other thing is, what's the deal with Black Noir, man? Because Black Noir in this is weird, right? He basically went to go and kill the boys, and then it's like he just kind of, it's like, what kind of missions is he being sent on? It doesn't look like. So I'm not gonna spoil it for you, but
I know what he is in the comics.
No. I'm talking about the other bits that they're kind of, why he is that, right? So why he is that, but basically, he has a purpose in the comics, right?
Yeah.
But in this, it's like, what's the purpose of Black Noir, right? What is the reason for Black Noir to be
all the
where
characters?
he is?
I think they've really gone out of their way to make this version completely different than the comic books. It's obviously not going to be what it is in the books, and even his purpose is going to be different. So, yeah, I have no idea. maybe they never reveal what he is. I'm sure at some point they'll give like a little origin specific episode.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this is the thing. There's so many ways that they can go now, considering they're looking at making like the teenage spin-off and all that kind of stuff there as well. Of that. I mean, if they do that teenage supergroup that I think that they're gonna do, oh my God, is that gonna be messed up? Because that is when Garth Ennis, I don't know what's up with his mind, because he's like screwed in the head or something, right? But he goes like into the most sexual depravity that you will ever see that these guys are going into.
But that's what it says in the description. There was a little description for it, like it's hormonal, sexual charged, and it's basically college. So it's even worse. It's just going to be a campus. It's just going to be the bullshit. It's gonna be that group, and if it is, oh my God, that is gonna be, don't watch it with your parents. But basically, what would you rate this one? Do you think it was, because we were talking last one, maybe it was getting a bit slow, and then obviously, I don't know, what would you pitch this as? I like this one. This is one back in a decent direction. What did I give the last one? They're never lower than like 3.5 or something, is it?
Yeah. I think
give it like 4. So I like the whole Nazi reveal, even though it would have been good to get more sort of visual flashbacks to actually see her in it.
Yeah, and I hope they do that more kind of in the future, just showing all this kind of stuff and things like that. The other thing I've got to think to myself is, okay, did she have powers in those days? Did she or did she not have powers, right? Because this is a problem for me, right? Because if you had somebody with Stormfront's powers in the Second World War, the Nazis would have won. That's all there is to it, right? There's no freaking way they would have lost. She could have flown over a battlefield and just killed every single person on it.
We don't know the timeline. It might have been right at the very end when the war was already over. Like once Hitler's dead, this looks
like the 30s. So this looks like when the Nazi Party was first kind of forming and stuff. And they were doing all their little kind of pomp and ceremony and stuff like that. It would be interesting to know what was going on, at that particular point.
That would be when he's developing it, isn't it? Maybe the last ditch effort, desperation for him to experiment on his wife, to use it on his wife. That must have been like a desperate moment near the end or something. So yeah, it's true. It would be interesting to see.
Or maybe they had that program, didn't they? Operation Paperclip, where the Nazi scientists went over to the US. Yeah. Maybe that's what happened. They said to him at the end, took him over there, and then he decided. I mean, a lot of the Stormfront stuff is quite close to the mark, man. You've got like, she wears this like S symbol on her neck, right? I kind of noticed on the thingy, and I'm thinking, dude, this literally looks like the SS. Like, it's exactly the same, just
now
one
that you know what she is. Even a whole uniform, it has very Nazi-esque shape, the way it's designed and fitted. It's very like militaristic.
Yeah, it's like when they made Supergirl Nazi superhero. It's very, very kind of similar. And
I kind of think, by the way, Supergirl gone.
I thought you're gonna say Melissa had died or something. I was thinking, what? Okay. Rest in peace. That show. Are you serious or Burn in Flames?
I never watched it.
I'm the DC like guy, and I'm saying
I did like her.
Yeah. I mean, do you know what? I don't know. There are fans of that show, and I will not begrudge them their fandom of that show. But at the same time, I will also say, I didn't like it. That's all. So yeah, I mean, so you're gonna give that a 4 out of 5, right? Yeah, same kind of thing. Have you seen all the articles coming out now about if you like the boys, watch Doom Patrol?
No.
So there's like advert. I keep getting bombarded with adverts on Google and when I'm going to other websites and stuff. So like, if you like the boys, then get.
Have you watched season 2 yet, Doom Patrol?
I haven't. I watched. The thing with Doom Patrol is this, right? What I used to do is that because I travel a lot to like different places where I work, I'd have this like 1 hour slot at lunchtime, and I'm just like, let me put Doom Patrol on, right? Now, for some reason, I can't seem to access it because it's on some other platforms or whatever. And I just can't really be bothered, because the thing is that a lot of Doom Patrol, unlike Swamp Thing, loads of Doom Patrol's filler. Like, you can watch 3 or 4 episodes and think, this is garbage. And then you get one that you think, wow, this is really, really good. So I don't know. I might get back into it, but you know,
it's where they compare it to The Boys. It's more closer to like Umbrella Academy than it is to The Boys. In terms of the tone of it.
I think it's just maybe these websites trying to just make articles because they've got nothing else to write about. You know what I mean? So that's the kind of thing, man. So what else are we talking about? We're talking about so you said Supergirl. Oh, this. Yeah. So sorry, what spin-off?
The Boys.
The Boys spin-off, yeah. No, so at the start I also said the Snyder Cut stuff, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go over this briefly because we're gonna get the wrath of people if we got into this too much, man. So there's new reshoots been going on for the Snyder Cut and stuff.
$70 million.
Reshoots, yeah, reshoots. Okay, so and I'm gonna say straight away, I'm not in the film industry. I'm not an expert. I have very limited knowledge about what goes on there, right? But when I'm looking at a logical kind of standpoint behind what is going on with this, and somebody says to me, do you know what, all the work that I've done on this is completed, and then it's like oh no, actually I've got a load of extra stuff to do to make it complete, then logically you're kind of saying to me, actually I haven't completed it, and I never completed it, and I'm doing.
See, I look at it from the perspective of, he was saying it was complete when it was just a 2.5 hour movie. But now that it's a 4 hour TV
cuts, yeah.
Then there's a lot more there, little things that need to be filled, little scenes in between to link things. So I can kind of forgive that because I don't think this is what he originally intended it was ever going to be. There was no way he thought a 4 hour cut of this was ever going to be in a cinema.
Oh, 100%. So when he's been saying, okay, when he's been talking to fans saying, I've done this, I've thought of this, I've thought of that, blah blah. I think those are the things that he's like, right, I'm gonna put in it, and whether those were part of his original kind of thing, only he knows, and maybe some insiders or whatever. But I've got to say that if they are adding loads of stuff on top, then you can't say that everything was done and it was just CGI. There is more stuff on top of that, apart from the fact they're not doing any more Superman scenes with Henry Cavill. So the interesting thing is we still haven't heard yet how that is going to be coming to the UK. Are we going to be seeing it on Amazon or Netflix, or because we only care about the UK, guys? Sorry, we don't care about your countries. We in our country. How are we going to be able to watch this thing? Is it going to be in the cinema? Is it going to be whatever? It's got to come to a streaming service, even though he was talking about a distribution platform like in other countries, which kind of like hinted, okay, is it going to be in theaters or whatever? But you know what? I've been to the cinema 3 times during lockdown, right? And it's just a weird experience now. It's just weird. It's not the same as it used to be. I've watched some bizarre films that I never would have ever thought of watching.
What else did you see besides Tenet?
So I saw a film with Javier Bardem about a guy who basically has lost his mind and is trying to and it was really good. I mean, it's like if there's anyone who's going to win an Oscar, it's going to be him now, because no other bloody films. But yeah, it was a really good film, but it was bizarre as hell. Then I watched this other film because I thought it was just a hilarious. So like Hollywood stars, they name their kids like the dumbest, most stupidest name ever,
Apple.
right? Yeah. So what's it called? What's his name? Joseph Fiennes, or the actor, the big English actor. I think it's Joseph Fiennes. His name is, right. His son is now into acting, right, and his name is Hero Fiennes Tiffin, right?
What?
Okay, so it says Hero Fiennes Tiffin in his debut film. So I was like, I gotta see this because this guy's name is so retarded. Hero Fiennes Tiffin. Like, guys, I don't know whether you have the word tiffin in America, but tiffin is like a box basically, and you also have a tiffin cake. I mean, who I don't know why somebody would name their kids that.
That's not even the unusual one. It's Hero. That's the ridiculous name.
Hero, yeah, exactly. Imagine your kid's born, hasn't done nothing, and you're like, I'm gonna call him Hero.
What if he turned out to be a serial killer or something, like, and he's called Hero? That is we got a new guy working at my place that's called Alpha. Real
Alpha.
Name.
Oh my God. No.
Yeah, Alpha is his real first name.
Oh, why would you do that to your kid? That kid's got to live up to that name like the whole time. That's horrendous. I mean, Hero kind of works because if he did like go and kill people, then it would be all the things would be Hero to Zero, all the stuff on the what's it called, news reports and stuff. But yeah, I watched that. It was bizarre. I mean, there's about 10 people in the cinema. There's no atmosphere. I mean, you wouldn't get an atmosphere in a film like that. But I'm kind of just thinking to myself, man, you go and watch another film and you kind of just think, I definitely
don't think Justice League's going to be in a cinema, not for 4-hour cut, not in these days. I reckon Amazon, maybe.
Yeah.
Most likely.
Amazon would
hopefully not Sky Atlantic though.
Amazon would make sense because if you imagine Boys season 3 and Justice League being on Amazon at the same time, and it would just be so crazy just to watch. Okay, this is the Justice League and this is like the fucked up Justice League, and at the same time the switching from, and you guys can choose whatever one's what one is which, but yeah, I mean, I reckon that'll be the best fit on it, but it just depends, man, because when is this Lord of the Rings thing going to be coming out?
God knows.
Because I guess if they get a tent pole that people are just going to go and watch. I mean, I've looked at some of the stuff on Amazon, thought none of this stuff interests me in the slightest, over kind of like, I guess, if I was going to watch some of the Netflix shows. But, I don't know if they started porting stuff there.
Yeah, Prime's weird. You have to hunt. Like, there are jewels there, but you just have to look for it. They don't really push a lot of their good shows that they make. They just kind of make it and then just throw it out there and don't really talk about it. So you have to kind of look and sift through the crap to be like, oh, it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's got like a weird setup, isn't it? Yeah. So it's kind of like, okay, especially on mine, because I've got we've got the Fire Stick thingy, and it's like, it's got just all the stuff like, okay, Netflix, iPlayer, whatever, and it's like, okay, then it's got the Amazon content below that, and it's like, well, okay, and then it's like, these are the films that are on, and they're like all ancient like films or whatever, and then it's like, okay, do I search below that to go and look for other stuff? Can I be asked to do it? That's just the way.
It's not even there though. You have to go into it to the view more.
You have to go deep through it. You have to go deep
down the rabbit hole.
Deep inside, man. So let's go into some stuff about Star Wars, because people have been asking, and we kind of abandoned it.
We would talk a lot more about it, guys, but just not a lot's happening with it besides Mandalorian.
I don't know how these Star Wars channels, like literally every day on YouTube, do 3 or 4 videos on Star Wars this and Star Wars that, and it's like, mate,
they're talking about the books.
Star Wars stuff to talk about. You know what I mean?
Talk about the books, talk about the comics, talk about the games. Maybe we should start doing that. Let's talk about the games and all the other crap.
I know, and everything. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. I kind of, I thought to myself, if I was at a loose end and I was kind of like I couldn't work or whatever, then I would do like a game playthrough or something like that. If
I was considering it. I was going to do it with Avengers, even if I'm not playing it, just to watch it.
Yeah.
A movie.
You got to do it with Miles, man. When Miles comes out, when Miles Morales game comes out, then do something like that, man. But I mean the Mandalorian stuff, right? So obviously we didn't really talk about the trailer there last time, so we'll talk about it a bit there now. The Mandalorian stuff is I don't know, man. It's got the timeline is now weird to me. So obviously this is meant to be occurring like after the Last Jedi, right? But why? Not the Last Jedi.
Return of the Jedi.
Return of the Jedi. I'm sorry, I blasphemed, guys, with that horrendous film. Okay, so after Return of the Jedi, but then the thing is, like, whenever they're talking about Jedi, it's always like a myth. They're always like, I mean, these guys existed for thousands of years, right? And then maybe were absent for like 20 years or whatever,
Yeah, that always. But then you have to imagine the galaxy's a big galaxy. So maybe the core planets are the ones where they remember there are people still alive, but on the edges.
Yeah, but for the Mandalorians, it shouldn't be, because they had a flipping galactic war against them. You know what I mean? So they had a war against the Jedi for like donkey's years, man. And it's kind of like saying, and that's not even that long ago, right? So it's kind of like saying for us, okay, there were Crusaders, and we have no idea who the Crusaders were. Oh, the Crusaders were a myth, right? It's like, no, people fought. Crusaders and Saracens fought against each other. And it's like everybody knows who those two groups are. So it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of odd that, that they're doing that. But I heard this interesting theory, which, I'm wondering what you kind of think. That so we know now that you can create beings out of the midichlorians or whatever it is, right? Of pure force beings or whatever. And whether some people, there's a big theory going around saying the child was created by Yoda as a counterbalance to the evil of the emperor, that they could see kind of coming. And that's what that child is. So I don't know where people are coming out from that, but there's apparently some clues in the book.
He's in the book, you said?
There's some clues in what I didn't read the whole like Reddit thread, but there's some clues in like the latest book or something that is something like that that is going on. So I don't know. It'd be interesting they go down that route. But this is all of this Jedi stuff is a setup for Ahsoka to come in. Basically, that's what it is.
Who's also apparently got her own spin-off show in the works, so she's gonna be significant.
Yeah. And is Ahsoka just the actress? Is that just the voice, or is she actually playing the character? Because the character is obviously going to be a lot older now by Return of the Jedi times, right?
Yeah. Rosario Dawson is playing her. I don't know what sort of age group, because like you said, it jumps around so much. Even I get lost with where everything's supposed to be. Yeah, but she will be quite a bit older. But I don't know whether her race ages slowly. I don't think they do.
This is why we don't talk about Star Wars, guys.
But I just want to know how physically Rosario Dawson's gonna look in that costume with the makeup, like
with the
because that's where it succeeds or fails. Because that's a complicated, ambitious look for a character, man.
Yeah, that is true. They're kind of it's like what's the race called? I can't remember what the race is called, but they've got like the big kind of Leku or whatever they call coming down there, and another kind of thing coming off the head and stuff. It would be a crazy look, but I can imagine they could. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they can pull that off.
Yeah, they've done them in the films, but will it work with Rodora? Because you don't know, because some people just don't really shape right to do that. So
yeah, exactly. Well, Yeah, yeah, like everybody, they got they got to train and then and then actually make it,
Yeah.
make it that it actually looks like you're a character, or unless she decides. I mean, the thing is, in they're saying now like Star Wars Rebels is canon, but in Star Wars Rebels it looked like she was killed. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on there, because in Star Wars Rebels it's like they saw her kind of walking away, but they thought it was a Force ghost of her walking away. So I don't know. Is she going to come in as a Force ghost? In which case, they don't even need the look. The look's going to come as a blue ghost, right?
Force Ghost get its own spin-off show. That's going to be the dumbest show.
It'll be the dumbest show. But you never know, because our Nick Fury show is going to be coming soon, and there will be too many of these kind of things.
And anyone wanting to know, I don't care about the Rogue One guy getting his own spin-off, because I just hated him. I hated him in Rogue One. I can't even bother to even remember his name. I just don't like him. So the fact
Who
he's got his
even
own
thought
show,
of that? Why would you even want to see that? Nobody gives a stuff.
But ladies liked him. Whenever girls said who their favorite character was, they always said that guy, the boring guy with no charisma with the beard.
Yeah, weird. It's like they haven't seen Harrison Ford in as Han Solo. You know what I mean? Who actually had charisma and stuff like that. Yeah. It's like that's the thing. I mean, there are so many characters in the Star Wars lore that they could use. And they I think they need to look to that sometimes to kind of see, like they had this thing where in the Legends kind of thing, they had the son of the head of the Jedi Council. He unfortunately didn't have any powers, right? He had no Jedi powers. So he decided to become like a spy for the Republic instead, right? So he's a spy. He goes around to all these kind of things, and he's in that universe and stuff like that. And he interacts with the Jedi and the Mandalorians and the Republic and the and the Empire. It's not called the Empire at that stage. I can't remember what it's called. But he interacts with all of them, and that would be a much more interesting thing than kind of with this, where it's like, okay, it's the same old, man. If they're really thinking about expanding the universe, I don't know, but maybe they're trying to get that Latino audience that we were talking about there before, I guess. You know what I mean? So
worth mentioning, yes, I did recognize that Sasha Banks popped up in the Mandalorian trailer. What she's gonna do is she's gonna get to that, be at the axe. We're gonna see her range.
I was hearing there's some wrestler who she's part of the of the Mandalorian or whatever.
Like weird, like cult, the mysterious ones with the hoods. This weird like witchy cult thing. So are they Force sensitive?
Yeah,
who knows?
Well, they did have this kind of they did have this kind of thing in the Legends lore of like the witches who used to use the the dark side of the Force and stuff.
That's another thing I want to see. I want to see other Force sensitive beings or cultures that aren't just Jedi and Sith. What are the other ones? The other people that use it for different means.
Yeah,
show me that.
Yeah. I mean, there's going to be people using that for everything. Like, are you telling me there's not going to be evil scientists trying to like harness the Force and use it for like some shitty means? There's going to be there's going to be all this kind of stuff. So they need to kind of show that to us, man.
Show me Force martial arts that doesn't use a lightsaber, just welds the Force within their hands and just uses that for combat. Show me creative new ways to.
Do you know have you ever read the Darth Bane trilogy?
No, not all of them. No.
In the Darth Bane trilogy, right? They basically talk about different classes of Jedi and stuff. I'll do this briefly because my phone is literally about to die, right? But basically, like in the Darth Bane trilogy, they have this thing, and he goes with his apprentice, and he ends up going and fighting against this group of Jedi, right? And literally, what happens is you have the Jedi who's like this fighting kind of Jedi who actually goes and does all these amazing moves and stuff like that, and then fights. Then you have another Jedi who can kind of yield the Force, right? Who basically is like throwing things and doing all that kind of stuff there. And then you have this third Jedi, which is basically does like battle meditation. So that Jedi kind of goes and like, make sure that the other ones can perform to the highest level. And each one of them relies on each other. So if that one who is, controlling the Force and like throwing the objects and doing doing the stuff there doesn't do the stuff that they're meant to be doing, then the Jedi that is doing, you know, all the stuff with the lightsaber can't do stuff properly. And you know, spoiler alert, but basically the one that they want to get rid of is the one who's literally just sitting on the ground doing the battle meditation. Once you kill yeah, because once everyone else after that, you know, so that's what we need to see. We need to see stuff like that, you know. So
is your audio going out a sign that you're running out of battery and you're about to cut out?
No, I don't know. For some reason, I'm getting rung by a recruitment agency at 7:30 at night. For God knows what reason, because I have a job. So I don't know. But I know it's a recruitment agency because it's got their name on it. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. The battery is literally about to go though. So yeah, I better wrap it up. So guys, yeah, this is the end of a slightly shorter show of the DC versus Marvel podcast. If you want to contact us, you can contact us via the Facebook page DC versus Marvel podcast, or email us on dcvsmarvelpod@gmail.com. And you can also catch us on the Voltron network on the YouTube. Subscribe to that if you want to see our video kind of stuff there. I'm just waiting for some more stuff to arrive, which seems to be lost in the post, before I do more unboxing and things. But check out.
Yep. Oh, Uz is gone. So yeah, guys, Voltron network, 2 separate words on YouTube. Subscribe, give us a thumbs up, do all the things, and check out all of our shows. Mine, Talking at the Movies, also on YouTube and on all podcasting platforms. So from me, there is, and from Uz, who's gone. See you guys next.